right from Escanoon.
Let's go. Let's get out of there. Get out of there.
Correction, I mentioned that Escanoon's last fight was in April and he won. He actually lost to Moises Flores. Chia Santana was the one who fought against Saddam Ali in the fight that follows this. Second round, Robin Hood Castelanos. Robin Hood, the nickname came because once he got that nutrition, was able to eat properly. He was a fighter who was brought in as an opponent to lose. And he tagged Escanoon with a hard right.
Yeah, I think an uppercut stiffened the legs of Escanoon. He wisely smothered Castelanos and tied him up a little bit.
Castelanos, the nickname stuck with him because he would go into a fighter's backyard and usually he was fighting the undefeated fighter in the main event and he was beating them, taking their zero.
Both these guys have done that.
Exactly.
Yeah, Escanoon did that to Jesus Cuellar. He's the only guy to beat Cuellar who won a world title at 122 pounds. And he beat Cuellar in Cuellar's native Argentina. And of course, Castelanos has done that in America, did it to Ronnie Rios. And he actually traveled to Panama a year earlier and beat a former champ, Celestino Caballero, I believe.
Yeah, he beat Celestino Caballero in April of 2013 in Panama, split decision. Also a WBC silver belt. And you mentioned that Cuellar fight. He stopped Cuellar in Argentina back in 2011, did Escanoon. And down goes Escanoon, overhand right from Robinson Castelanos. Drops the Colombian in the second round. Escanoon bounces right back up. And this is something that Castelanos is known for that heavy hand lately in his career. He dropped Ronnie Rios. With Rocky Juarez a beating. Very confident fighter. Here's Robinson Castelanos, the name Robinson, his father's favorite fighter, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Wow.
So how many Mexicans named Robinson?
That's it's rare. But he's a very versatile boxer, and like Sugar Ray Robinson, he's somebody who could also crack.
His father introduced him to the sport in Guanajuato. Not many fighters from that state in central Mexico. You've been there, right, for a fight?
Where is this?
Guanajuato.
Guanajuato? No, I have not.
You've been everywhere else in Mexico.
In Aguas Caliente?
Oh, right next to it.
Okay, is that close?
It's close to it. The bordering state. Doug Fisher, the man traveling all over the world. We're in 30 seconds to go in the second round. Robinson Castelanos, Oscar Escanoon, Mexico against Colombia. Body shot from Castelanos. More body work from Castelanos. Escanoon was dropped in the second round, but he popped right back up.
I'm impressed with his conditioning, and I'm always impressed with his willingness to mix it up. Both guys fight with a lot of pride. That jab set up that right hand.
It wasn't a very powerful one, but it did get the job against that 10-8 round.
Yeah, I think Escanoon's feet were parallel at the time that punch connected. And it landed kind of high in the head, so it just probably momentarily disoriented him.
Robin Hood Castelanos. From the state of Guanajuato, home of ranchera legend Jose Alfredo Jimenez. The Mexican fans know all about him. The songs that you hear at the fights, most of them composed by him. But right now it's Robinson controlling this fight. Hasn't fought since January. Had a couple of fights where, in the sport of boxing, Doug, where they call it step away, right?
Right, he was the #1 contender for the WBC featherweight title, currently held by Gary Russell Jr. I guess Team Russell not ready to face Robin Hood just yet. And, he's got management that was willing to pay Castelanos some step-aside money.
So Castelanos went from a career early on where he was essentially fighting for free and hungry to now we're going to pay you not to fight.
Not to fight.
What a sport. Oscar Escanoon, meanwhile, was supposed to face Gary Russell late in 2015. Russell suffered a cut a week before the fight. That fight was called off. And now Escanoon and Castelanos are here in the third round at the DC Armory.
And this is a WBC interim featherweight title fight. And whoever wins this fight is definitely the mandatory contender for Gary Russell Jr.'s title. Castellanos has effectively shaken off that rust, and Escanoon is a part of that equation. He's kind of forcing him to fight at a fast pace.
Body shot from Escanoon. 5'1" fighter from Colombia. From Colombia, but now living in San Jose, California. Trained by Ruben Guerrero. Been there for the last 8 months. Ruben Guerrero, the father of the GOAT, Robert Guerrero.
Yeah, and Ruben Guerrero will get you in shape. You're going to be in fighting shape if you're in camp with Ruben Guerrero.
We'll teach you how to talk a little bit. Escanoon 24-2, turned pro in 2008. Castelanos turned pro in 2002. 5'6" against 5'1" is not really.
Yeah, 5'1 and a half.
Oh, you're gonna give him the half?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the half. But Escanoon, he makes his height work for him, kind of like a Joe Frazier. You know, he's got smart pressure. He's in, he's out. He doesn't really need to bob and weave because he's so short. But he's able to reach a taller opponent with his punches.
Doing here late in the third round.
I think he's outworked Castelanos in this round. You can argue that Castelanos has been a more economical, a little more accurate with his punches, but I'm scoring that round for Escanoon.
Against Jesse Vargas. Right now you're watching Robinson Castelanos and Oscar Escanoon. Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher in the 4th round. The DC Armory in Washington, D.C. Escanoon went down from a right hand in the 2nd round, recovered nicely. Good 3rd round for the Colombian fighter. These two are leaning each other out against the ropes. We're here to start the 4th.
Escanoon is swarming Castelanos along the ropes, which is what a shorter, stockier fighter should do, but Castelanos is pretty comfortable fighting on the inside. He's always had a high work rate, Beto.
For 124 pounds, Castelanos towers over most of his opponents in this division.
He's tall for a featherweight.
He wears that weight well.
And when he wants to, he boxes. He fights tall. He does a good job on the outside, as he's doing right now.
What do you mean by fight tall?
Use his jab, use his height to lean away from punches, keeping his opponents at arm's length, not allowing them inside. But it's not easy to keep Escanoon on the outside.
Keep coming at you.
He's got fast feet and he's just strong. He's very willful. He's willing to catch a few jabs and straight rights just to get in range. And Escanoon seems to load up with almost every punch. Not as technical as Castelanos. Escanoon is more of a winger, lobs a lot of haymakers, but there's a lot of heat behind those punches.
Two fighters that only fought once last year. Doesn't look like it. Came to fight.
It's two aggressive fighters with very different styles. And I think they mesh well. I think it's making for a competitive and entertaining fight.
Castelanos, a little smirk on his face after he lands a punch. Very confident fighter is Robinson Castelanos.
I noticed that with his fight with Ronnie Rios.
Oh, well,
I mean, he was like laughing. He was just having a great time as he outclassed and beat up this hot young prospect.
Yeah, Ronnie Rios undefeated at that time, stopped him in the 5th, and in the fighter meeting before that fight I called, he was telling me, we're gonna take care of him, we're gonna do this. In this game, every fighter says, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Castelanos from the opening bell stunned Rios and was just toying with him, and finally the fight was stopped in the 5th. And then when he fought Rocky Juarez, same exact attitude.
He's very comfortable in the ring. You can't judge him on those losses. Yeah, there's 10 losses there. But it should be noted that he's 13-1 in his last 14 bouts. And it should be noted that he learned from those losses. There was experience in those 8 losses early in his career.
Final seconds of the 4th round, scheduled for 12. Robinson Castellanos, Oscar Escanoon, and a good one in Washington, D.C. Be careful with that jab that he's throwing at him.
Good advice from Ruben.
Escanoon in the cheetah print. Robinson Castellanos in the silver with the gold trim. Castellanos, like you were mentioning, he went on that 13-1 run. His lone loss came against Rene Alvarado when he was stopped by the Central American fighter. That was a fight that stopped in the 9th round. Robinson had won so many fights in a row, but he was also getting those. Checking him out. He's on the bridge of the nose. We've gone past 4 rounds, so if the fight is stopped now, that was an accidental clash of heads, I believe. If the fight is stopped now, it'll go to the scorecards.
Okay.
There's something ugly under his left eye, too.
Yeah, there's something under his left eye.
A gashed mouse under his left eye, and his nose looks to be in terrible shape.
Yeah, it was gushing. I couldn't tell if it was from the nose or the eye. Either way, though, Castellanos bleeding. And Escanoon came out with the pressure to start this round.
Counting as a push, and I don't think the referee has ruled on whether or not those gashes and that the injuries to Castellanos' face were caused by a punch or a head.
Nope. Didn't see any indication from that. Regardless, we're in the 5th round, halfway through it. Robinson Castellanos in the silver trunks, bleeding heavy, belief from the nose. Escanoon blocked the pressure. Doctor looked at him, let it go. And Castellanos needs a right hand.
I'm surprised the doctor let it go. I'm not surprised that Castellanos is fighting back the way he's fighting back. As I said earlier, these guys have a lot of pride.
These guys both have a lot of pride. If they want to go become the #1 challenger in the WBC, have a chance to fight for a bigger belt.
Yeah, their eyes are on that prize, and they're not worried about pain and suffering right now.
Right there, knocking on that door. Right hand landed by the Colombian Escanoon. Comes back Castellanos.
I'm really impressed with Escanoon's pressure and punch variation here in this 5th round.
He really bring the pressure, listening to his corner.
Yeah, he took it to another level. He seriously shifted gears.
Yeah, they gave him that adrenaline shot from Pulp Fiction where he just jumped out.
I know he's making Ruben Guerrero very happy. This is a perfect kind of fighter for Guerrero. He's a fighting coach.
Castellanos looks tired in this round.
He can't get air through his nose. He's having to breathe through his mouth, and it's hard for him to get energy.
Good round for Oscar Escandón from the opening bell. Came out really aggressive.